Charles Kennedy.
Mr. Speaker, following the honourable gentleman for Liverpool Walton, can I acknowledge with thanks, and indeed through him, to the right honourable gentleman, the member for Islington South and Finsbury, and to all those in all parties in this House, that an honest option and choice in a cross-party way has been discussed and agreed. And indeed, I think the right honourable gentleman in the previous debate made a very powerful contribution towards that sense on a cross-party basis, which does need to be heard and discussed rationally here today. And although it was undoubtedly sad for the House as an institution, there is no doubt, listening to his quite brilliant resignation statement in the House yesterday evening, although the House has lost a very good leader of the House, those of us who are supporting, as myself, my honourable and right honourable friends will be, the cross-party amendment in the division lobbies tonight, we have gained a very powerful additional advocate for the case that we are sincerely making. There has, of course, given the events, Mr. Speaker, of the past few days, indeed the last few hours, been much understandable comment about the drama of the situation. There is no doubt about that. But then, of course, in the next few hours, in the next few days, we're liable to see even more drama and trauma when what appears now the inevitable military conflict against Iraq begins. And let us hope, as we all agree, that this conflict can be conducted as swiftly as possible, with the minimum of casualties, first and foremost, obviously, to our own forces, but equally to the innocent Iraqi civilians with whom none of us here have ever had any quarrel and who have suffered so terribly under the despicable regime of Saddam Hussein himself. Now, as to those of us who at this point remain unpersuaded as to the case at this time for war, and who have questioned whether British forces should be sent into a war without a further UN mandate having been achieved, there stands no contradiction, and the former House Leader and Foreign Secretary put it very succinctly and very well last night. There stands no contradiction between giving voice to that legitimate anxiety and at the same time, as and when exchange of fire commences, looking to the rest of the country, as well as all of us in the House, to give full moral support to our forces. It is not they who take the civilian political decision as what it is that they are being asked to do, but it is they who have to carry out that task in all our names. The Shadow Leader put that very well last night, but equally church leaders over the past couple of days themselves, who earlier have expressed profound opposition to war in this way at this time, are themselves making the same point. And if later tonight, I will of course in a second, and if later tonight at the conclusion of this debate, under our democratic procedures which we enjoy in this House, that is to be the decision of the House, then it must be important that the whole House unites in that genuine support.
I'm very grateful to the right honourable gentleman. Can I therefore take it that if the amendment is lost, he will then vote for the substantive resolution?
No, I thank the honourable gentleman for his question. The answer to that is no, I will not. I will not. And I will not. I will not do so, because the consistent line that we have taken is that we do not believe that there is a case for war which has been established under these procedures in the absence of a second United Nations resolution. And that is the position that we will take. Now, in saying, Mr. Speaker, in saying that, no, I'm sorry. In saying that, we must also, I think, remember.
The Honourable Lady shouldn't make a remark like that. She will withdraw it. She'll stand up and withdraw that remark.
Mr. Speaker, I withdraw that remark.
Charles Kennedy. All the House has to know is I heard the remark. Charles Kennedy.
Mr. Speaker, I'll see you afterwards. I'll see you afterwards. I can assure the House a Glaswegian speaker knows when that's said as a threat or affection. Yes, of course.
would he perhaps clear up, he failed to answer my honourable friend, would he perhaps clear up an inconsistency? No, he said in the one hand that he wanted to support troops, and then he said he's not going to support the main motion. Perhaps he'd like to clear this up. He has a split here. The member for North East Fife said that, and I quote, legally no new resolution is required for the use of force to implement Resolution 687. And Lord Goodhart, however, said in the other place, the existing resolutions on the Iraqi situation, particularly 4041, quote, do not authorise armed intervention without a second resolution. Which position is the Liberal Democrats, and why do they travel across two separate positions?
Fine. First of all, Lord Goodhart spoke with great authority as an international lawyer in the House of Lords debate last night. And my right honourable and learned friend, who spoke in this House on that particular issue in September, before 1441 was passed, 1441 has moved that position on. And I want to return to the legality of this, Mr. Speaker, in just a moment. But could I just say one thing? Because the leader of the Conservative Party chose to open his remarks with one or two remarks about myself and our honourable friends, perfectly fair in this debate. But when we come to consistency, can we just remind ourselves where the Conservative Party is concerned? Take the issue of weapons of mass destruction. After Saddam Hussein used them in 1988, they continued to sell arms to Iraq. They provided them with anthrax and other chemical weapons, and they approved the construction of dual-use factories in Iraq. When it comes to humanitarian reasons, which several
This is a point of order. If the honourable gentleman is in the act of misleading the House, Mr. Speaker, in a report with the Scott inquiry, it made quite clear that the government did not sell any chemical weapons to the Iraqi regime during the 1980s. How can I make him withdraw it?
I can help the honourable gentleman. These are matters for debate, and it may well be that some honourable member may be able to rebut the case that the right honourable gentleman is making.
Speaker, continuing. No.
Order. The right honourable gentleman is not going to give way. Order.
I'm in the process of replying to his party leader, to be fair. If, as several Conservatives have over many months, speak about the need for consistency with humanitarianism on the international stage, why didn't they support the humanitarian intervention in Sierra Leone, for example? Why did they not support the use of ground troops in Kosovo? And why, Mr. Speaker, in government, did the Conservatives veto 11 United Nations resolutions relating to apartheid South Africa?
Charles Kennedy.
And I think, therefore, Mr. Speaker, we do not need moral lectures from the Conservative Party. And I would just say, Mr.
Finally, order. The honourable gentleman is entitled to a hearing. Order. Every leader of the party has been heard properly, and the honourable gentleman should get that courtesy. Honourable gentleman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would just say in conclusion to the leader of the Conservative Party that if I was looking at this amendment on the order paper tonight and I saw the names of 3 former cabinet ministers in the last Conservative government, before I started lecturing leaders of other parties, I might try and sort out my own. Now, there are legitimate questions. There are legitimate questions which need to be raised.
Is it within order for the leader of the Liberal Democrats not to give way to the person who has ministered at the time of his accusations?
It's not even a point of order. The honourable gentleman should know better.
I don't think that they like the more extensive answer which their leader has just received, I must admit. Now, there will be, Mr. Speaker, as the activity of our armed forces progresses, there will be very legitimate questions that the... No, I am not giving it way. I am not